Even in the capacity of guru, somebody that I usually look up, I just feel that you are as fresh as how, where does that come from?
Is this your training after being a member of the parliament? You ask 5 questions in one question. If you live with every breath, with life around you, if you live here for 10,000 years, I'm telling you, still everything is fresh.
Every year when you make a trip to Kailash, you refuel yourself.
If I come back as a 30-year-old in another 10 days, don't be surprised.
Lord Shiva is living there with Parvati ji, Nandi.
He being absent for long periods of time, the cycles of 12 years, there are explanations regarding the cycles of the Jupiter and how they're connected to…
Is it that Adi Yogi chooses us, or these dimensions choose us, and what kind of people get chosen for?
He's keeping everything open for just everybody. It's for crazy people who just want to know.
Sadhguru ji, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk to you, especially from Mansarovar. The way you have awakened all of us regarding Adi Yogi, regarding Mansarovar, Kailasha, like our generation used to talk about Kailasha, but we never saw it in this light, in this kind of understanding. So first of all, I want to ask you, as your devotee, is that since I've known you, you're never in any one place. Always traveling, always pushing yourself to your limits. Like last time, I remember I was talking to Radhe, and when you were riding from London to India, you were coughing blood because of the dust that was collected in your lungs, and now you had a surgery, rather two surgeries. So my question here is that, so is it to be on the edge or to have these adventure trips? Is it something to do with just being physically fit, or it has some significance even in spiritual, like sort of context?
Now you're beginning to talk like my grandmother, huh?
I suppose all your devotees have this question, that do you have your doctor's permissions to be doing this?
Oh, I didn't talk to him, I spoke to him only yesterday. Before coming, I didn't talk to him because I know what he will say. So I don't like those words which start with N. So
So
I
Sadhguruji,
like all the… I like all the words which start with Y or end with Y.
so
So anyway, this is not about proving anything to anybody, this is just that one thing is, that was 1 year ago, and since then a lot has happened in terms of activity. So, bringing people to Manasarovar and Kailash, we've been doing it for 18 years. Last 5 years, there was no permission to enter here, but we still came very close, just 7 kilometers from Manasarovar on the Nepali border. I used to bring people and had darshan of Kailash, and they had a wonderful time. And a very profound experience even there from a distance. So this time they opened up, this is very significant that now it's open and they have built all the facilities and stuff like never before. But one important thing that everybody needs to understand in our country and in the rest of the world, yoga is not about twisting and turning like this. It's not about ending up like a leftover noodle on the plate. Yoga means taking charge of the very fundamentals of your life, the very source of your life. Well, well, that was not the idea, but because you're asking this question, let's put it this way. This is a way of demonstrating to the world the power of yoga, what it is. Not after 1 year, within 3 months I would have made a trip to Kailash on the motorcycle. I was fit enough to do that. I did long trips elsewhere. Uh, Doctors told me 2 years I shouldn't get on a motorcycle. But this is what it is. Life is such a brief life for a human being, for all the possibilities that a human being holds. And if we go on thinking last year surgery happened, so let me rest for 3 years, who knows what is happening
But
in 3 years.
but Sadhguruji, I want to know that from your childhood, you've been such an outdoor person, whether sleeping on the trees, being in the jungles, living in the jungles, swimming through the rivers. And since I've known you, I've never seen you in one place. Either you are, doing Rally for Rivers, Conscious Planet. Even last year, um, uh, you had such a hard time with your surgeries, back to back surgeries, and yet you're always out there exploring the world. What is it with adventure and spirituality? Is there a connection, or is just you just want to be fit and your idea of being fit?
Well, there are many questions in that one question. It's an Indian
Yes.
question, I understand. So, about adventure. Well, spirituality is the greatest adventure because you're always trying to step into an unknown territory. That is spiritual process. Spiritual process is not… uh, people think spirituality means go to the temple, break the coconut, do this, that. No, spiritual process means you're always trying to step into an unknown territory. Because the whole point of seeking is to go somewhere where you're not. Well, I'm not in that condition. I'm not seeking adventure either, really. Riding a two motorcycle, I don't consider it an adventure, I'm just riding. Instead of driving, I'm riding. Uh, it's a little more about outdoor and indoor, let's talk about that. See, if you lock yourself up indoor all the time, well, it's a kind of a self-created prison. Because if somebody locks the door from outside, it's called a prison. If you lock it from inside all the time, that is also a prison. So, this is not about this or that, this is just this, that. I know I've used too many this and that because there's no word for it. The thing is your life constantly expanding? Is it a process of expansion or is it a process of stagnation? Is it about dying to live or bursting with life? In search of security, a whole lot of people are just dying to live all the time. They're just dying to live, they're killing themselves to live, what for? So, coming to Kailash, I've been coming for 18 years. There was a break for last 5 years because of whatever situations, but now it's open. So I thought this time I will ride instead of driving. And well, we are here at Mansarovar.
But Sadhguruji, you also have a very low opinion of relaxing, taking a break, 8 hours sleep. At the most, if you want to give yourself a break, it means like an hours and hours of golf game under the sun, walking several kilometer miles. So why is that today generation wants to know that? Is it not good to unwind or to take 8 hours sleep? What is it?
See, I know today's generation wants to do less and less, and they're thinking in terms of unwinding. My question is, why the hell did they wind themselves up, first of all? I don't wind myself up, so I don't unwind either. Why mess yourself and then clean yourself? Everybody's talking detox. First of all, where is the toxicity coming from? Why are you so toxic? You need to detox every other day. So all these standards have been set in the world. You must sleep 8 hours a day, you must eat 5 times in a day, all kinds of things. Now they're changing opinions, of course, but what I'm telling you is, it's a very brief life. If you are keen on exploring human potential, it's a very, very brief life. See, I feel like I was born day before yesterday, and look at me. If you count the number of years, they're quite a lot. Usually people retire at my age and They walk gently, like they're walking on eggshells because something may
But
break.
Sadhguruji, um, in one of your books, you had also said that because the way you are, if you do not create these activities for yourself, you may just slip out of your body. It,
Now you're going somewhere else. Just now you were telling me it's a dangerous trip and it's adventure and all that. Now you're saying I'm to save myself, I'm riding on a motorcycle.
no, no, no. I'm just saying that is because you said about, you know, doing something. I just see that you're saying that so many years you've lived on the planet, but I honestly have never seen anybody as childlike as you are, as when even in the capacity of guru, in the capacity of somebody that I usually look up to, I just feel that you are as fresh as how. Where does that come from? There is naturally, there is very little what you call it, karma baggage, or like I mean, I don't know, I don't have words to express, but how does, where does, is it because you're enlightened, that's how you are?
Ah, are you… is this your training after being a member of the parliament? You ask 5 questions in one question? Okay, now the thing is, still anything that's alive is fresh. Anything that's dead is old. Now within you, what is of aliveness, what is the nature of death within you? Because both of them are playing within you every moment. It's not that death happens one day, no, it is happening right now. So, within you, dead things are more important than life means, then you will feel death-like and aliveness will go away. See, when you are a child, for everybody I am saying, and you also use the word childlike, when you look at children, 5, 6, they're jumping with what? Exuberance of life. So just because you became 30, 40 or I'm sorry, because you're 18, 20, whatever, uh, do you have to lose that exuberance? No, not at all, because you have baggage of the past, which is essentially memory. If you live in your memory, you will become very old. If you live with every breath, with life around you, if you live here for 10,000 years, I'm telling you, still everything is fresh because you can't still figure out one blade of grass here. With all the scientific knowledge that we have, we still don't know one atom in its entirety. This is the nature of life, that if you spend how much ever time you want on this planet, still you don't know one thing from the other. So if you are living by attention, you will always be young, you will always be fresh. If you're living by memory, you will become very old. Memory is dead, and that dead baggage if you have to carry all the time, it makes you very, very heavy. And if you look at their faces, they're very grave faces. And especially if they're on the spiritual path, they must be like that. Grave means what? I don't know whether walking towards the grave or they've walked out of the grave. Many of them look like they walked out of the grave. There is no freshness of life, there is no exuberance of life. Instead of knowing the exuberance of life, people are just living by memory, the burden of memory. Human memory is so fantastic and so vivid, but you must stand upon it. If you sink into it, it's a quicksand, it'll take you away. And this is why those exuberant, lively faces that they were, everybody, when they were children, slowly became grave because they started living on memory, they think it's a great thing. And now they're… in their memory, they're distinguishing good memories and bad memories. So there are good dead people and bad dead people, there's no such thing, dead or just dead. And all dead people are good people because they don't bother us anymore.
Sadhguruji, other thing that I'm very curious about is that you say that every year when you make a trip to Kailash, it kind of it you refuel yourself and it lasts you for a year, something like that you said. So what is it about Kailash? What is it refueling? And um,
Well, if I come back as a 30-year-old in another 10 days, don't be surprised. Because it has tremendous energy and power. I've been wanting to come here by myself, carrying this whole group. There, people need comfort, you have to cook 3 times a day for them, though and all the management and their emotions and their nonsense and everything, it doesn't give me much time. I've been thinking of coming here and spending a few days by myself. That's not happened. And also my involvement with Kailash is such, if I spend too many days with him, I think the boundary line between me and him will go away.
Okay, Sadhguruji, this is the most exciting part about the whole thing, because obviously to mere mortals like us, it just seems very intriguing. When you say him, and you exactly, you are such a rational mind, and the way you are so, you know, y- y- objective and all of that. But when you speak him as if like Lord Shiva, how it says in our scriptures, and how like a villagers would be like where they live, they live on Kalasha. So is it? Are you trying to say that Lord Shiva is living there with Parvati ji, Nandi, and Kartikeya and Ganesha? The family is living there. What do you mean by him?
See, this is the whole problem in the world right now. People think if you're objective in your approach to various aspects of life, very objective, you must lose your subjectivity. This is the greatest tragedy that human beings are doing to themselves and to others. This is the greatest tragedy our universities are imparting to our children, that if you're objective, you should lose your subjectivity. Now, subjectivity is a different dimension. See, this is my body, that's your body, distinctly separate. But if somebody buries both of us on the same land, you will die 100 years after me, that's a different matter. But if they bury you next to me, you and me become the same soil, isn't it? So even in body, though we think it's so distinctly different, it is not. In your mind is different, my mind is different. Here and there we may overlap a little bit, but your mind is your mind, my mind is my mind. There is no such thing as my life and your life. There is only one life. Life is a phenomena. We've captured a little bit. How much you capture will determine how significant a life you are. When I say significant, does it mean you're socially recognized, globally recognized, or nobody has seen your face? It doesn't matter. If you sit here, your life is significant, not because of what you're doing, not because of what you possess or have, simply because your life, you captured a huge amount of life within you. It's like if you and me are blowing soap bubbles, your bubble came out this much, my bubble came out this much. Then I say, see, the big bubble is my bubble, small one is yours, but both went poop. Then you can't say this is my air, this is your air. There's no such thing. We all captured the same life. So these boundary lines that we have drawn is to play the game of life. But if you take these boundary lines too seriously, only thing that'll happen is conflict, whether it's between two individuals or between nations or societies or communities, this is all that's happening everywhere. So the important thing is to understand that this distinction, these lines that we draw in our minds can be wiped out. This is what yoga means. Yoga means union. Yoga means everything became one in your experience, not that you made it happen. It's always like that. You realized it's one. So when I say Shiva in the Kalash and whatever, as an immense repository of knowledge that is there, if you wipe out your boundaries and sit there, then it'll absorb you. So many sages have gone there wanting to get all the knowledge, and they became part of it. Nothing wrong with that, it's fantastic. Just I think it's not yet time for me to do that.
The things that you talk about Adi Yogi and what is there in Shiv Puran or in our ancient thousands years old scriptures, they are the same. You may have not read those, and your way of depicting and your way of addressing all of that may be in English or in more contemporary language, but it is the same. They say he's Yaksharupa, he's extraterrestrial, he's come from outside. And Kailash Parvat, whatever samples that they have of the soil there, and then there are chances that this may be other planetary. It is definitely not like your regular peak. So I want to ask from you, is that is it possible for maybe Adi Yogi to have just come on something like this? Is it like a like a spaceship of a kind? What is it? Also, you said getting younger, but what I hear is that whenever you are there in Kailash, that premise, your nails grow faster, you age faster, there are a lot of radiations there, so there is a lot of
Who
scientific.
told you all this? My nails are not growing faster.
That I mean, that's what I've
Oh,
heard, that the nails grow faster, and it is definitely not your regular mountain which has carved itself through millions of years. There is a lot of things there which are not identifiable. So it makes us wonder that is Shiva from another planet? And I asked you this before as well, that are there more people, are there more Yaksharupa like that, maybe, like, but and then you said, but only he happened. Um, I still wonder that Kailash is full of so many mysteries, and you being you, who who also for us is a very mysterious being, and being there and always, like you said, refueling yourself. I I just wonder that is are there things that and mystics musings, you have told a lot about all these things and about these beings and all of that. But are
the
there
new Mystic
things?
Musings is coming, okay? It's
But that is
nearly 1,000 pages, one book. It's a tome.
Mystic musings changed my life forever. But over there, you speak about these beings much more openly. You talk about parallel worlds much more openly. But I feel that otherwise, you do not, you don't that openly talk about. You just remain in the very objective realm, even though you say that subjectivity is important as well.
In the last question, you said I'm known to be very rational and objective. You're just trying to destroy that reputation right now. Here, you want me to talk about these things. See, the thing is this, if you talk to a 5-year-old child, you speak one way. You speak to 10-year-old, you speak differently. You speak to an 18-year-old, you speak differently. You speak to a 30-year-old, you speak differently. Like this, based on the maturity of the one who is listening, accordingly you speak. This doesn't mean you're hiding something, this doesn't mean you're not telling the truth, because what you call as truth has manifested in so many million ways. If you speak about something for which someone is not ready, it is like a child can drink milk, but if you put gulab jamun in an infant's mouth, he may die, you know. So this is just like that, nothing wrong with gulab jamun, it's nice. I wish I had one right now here, because I'm just fed up with the food that I'm eating. So, the question is what they're ready for. Now you're asking me these questions to ruin my reputation as a very objective, rational person.
No,
Okay, I'm…
if you're not comfortable answering,
No,
please.
no, I am very comfortable, can't I… Oh, I'm sorry, you're no more a superstar that I can poke around, you're a member of the parliament. Can I poke you around or no, madam? Netaji. So, the thing is like this. See, right now, see, in your question itself this came. If you say something beyond this planet is functioning here, immediately you think a spacecraft. Why should it be a spacecraft? So what I'm trying to tell you is, human way of thinking is set within the logic of whatever memories we have of life and whatever knowledge we have, within that framework. Anything beyond that, if you talk without being able to make you experience that, it will just be a fairy tale. Fairy tales are entertaining, but they are not transformative. So I'm saying if people want to experience such things, they must come for deeper processes. They are not interested really in knowing things, they are just curious. They want some new subject for the next party. When they go to a party, they want to talk something new and exciting, which will get them some attention. For that kind of thing, we avoid. If someone is genuinely wanting to know, it's not very difficult, I don't have to get them to Kailash. Wherever they are, we can make them experience those things. So about the question, is Shiva from elsewhere? Everything, everything points in that direction. What I experience, let me not speak about it because it won't mean anything, but everything in the lore points towards that. That all these details I've spoken, all the facts which all point towards that, but clearly the various various references that are there for him say that. See, for example, you know where Rama was born, Ayodhya. You know where Krishna was born. You know where they died, but you don't know where Shiva was born, where he died. So people start questioning whether he existed or not. Well, it's okay, because what we refer to as Shiva is, Shiva means that which is not. That means that which is not physical in nature. That which is not physical in nature means that which is not defined by boundaries. So, who is this man then? This man, in this culture, anyone who experiences that which is not. If somebody grasps a dimension which is not physical in nature, a dimension which is not of boundaries, not defined by boundaries, then we call him only Shiva. Along the way, after Adiyogi, many people we have referred to as Shiva because they experience something beyond the limitations of physical boundaries. And till even today, and very common, both in northern India and southern India, more so in South India, almost almost every male child is named after some form of Shiva. Almost every female child is named some form of Devi. So, the idea is, we know every human being is capable of experiencing, so we are calling them by that name, hoping something will awaken within you. If I call you Parvati, every day I call you Parvati, 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 we are hoping one day you will sit and wonder, I am Parvati, what should happen within me? Where do I belong? What is the nature of my existence? We want to bring that alive. So everybody was named, but these days you started naming them Rinku, Tinku, Pinku, whatever. It's all right, I have no problem with that.
Sadhguru, since you have spoken about Parvati, I have a question which often comes to my mind is that, she had to, Parvati had to do a lot of tapasya to get even Shiva's attention. And then after she had to do more tapasya to get married to him, and then they had wanted to have child Kartikeya, and then they could not, and there was a struggle, and then there was he beheaded Ganesha, and still they were like the epitome of perfect family to us as a culture and as a nation. Why is that? Because it is, it is a family which, uh, like a yaksha rupa, a son who has a different head, and other one who's just so
A
angry.
lot of people need a change of head. You don't think so? Ganapati, you must… Anyway, Ganesh Chaturthi is just a few days away, 27th of this month is Ganesh Chaturthi. He is Ganapati, okay, not Gajapati. Let this be very clear. His head is not that of an elephant. His head is that of a Ghana. When they required a head and there was nobody else, the chief of Ghanas, his head was removed and put on him, and that is why he's of extraordinary intelligence and brilliance. You know the stories about when Vyasa wanted to uh, write, he said, if you stop once, if there's even a little break, I'll throw the pen and go away. He's extraordinary intelligence. Everybody, Ganapati festival means, Ganesh Chaturthi means they're looking only at the belly and they're thinking they must eat more on that day. They're not looking at the head. It's a super intelligent head. Anyway, this whole thing about artists making it like an elephant, no. There are references where it says these Ganas had limbs which had no bones. So, somewhere, maybe resembled an elephant. Artists made it into elephant over a period of time, but the important thing is he's a Gajapati, he's not a Gajapati, he's a Ganapati, the king of Ganas or the leader of Ganas, the chief of Ganas. That's what he is. And well, how are they a family like that? Well, Kartikeya also born in a completely different way, so is Ganapati. You must understand this whole thing it is relevant to the question that you asked earlier, that because he was not a Homo sapien, that is, he was not as a species human like you and me, at least like you. He could not impregnate Parvati. His seed was of a different nature. So this is why they could not have children, but he could have children in different ways, but not with a human woman. A Homo sapien woman was not suitable for him. So, he being absent for long periods of time, the cycles of 12 years, there are many explanations. I don't want to try to give a logical explanation to this, but there are explanations regarding the cycles of the Jupiter and how they're connected to, Shiva's coming and going, 12-year absence at a time, all this. But the important thing is this, the important thing is, though there is no need within him for any of these things, to be able to communicate himself to the people of the time and leave this spine of knowledge, which is the basis of almost everything that's spiritual on this planet, comes from the spine of knowledge that he left. Adi Yogi made that effort to be as human-looking as possible. See, there are many forms of him, hideous forms are there, but there is also Sundarmurti. He presented himself in a way that that it is necessary for transmission so that he could be useful. Why do we remember a man who was whatever 15,000 years or more ago today? Only because of the contributions he has made to us, isn't it? What he
Ji.
has left behind for us. So, this spine of knowledge is most important. In many ways, Kailash, it's not that it's sitting here alone, Kailash is beyond that spine of knowledge, because spine of knowledge is for spiritual process for human beings. What is in Kailash is not necessarily all something that you can make use of, it's simply knowing. It's for crazy people who just want to know. It doesn't
That's
matter
what,
whether it's
that,
useful or
yeah.
not useful.
Exactly. That's what, with the, I was watching your interaction with Madhavan Maddy, my friend, and he asked you about it, and you said that it is Shiva's dreadlocks. There is so much, there's so much, wisdom to be unfolded. So I want to say that you mean like everybody can access it in a different way, like the way your experience will be different than mine or anybody else's. So what can
See,
one
everybody…
do?
See, everybody who goes there will generally be overwhelmed by the presence and the energy. But I don't see many people being able to connect with the knowing that is there, because they're going like tourists. Even if you go like a tourist, you will be overwhelmed. But to perceive what is there, it will take time, it is not like that. See, if you go into a massive library where there are a million books, everybody can see the book and everybody can open a book and read the alphabet on that, but not everybody can understand all the books, not everybody can really sit down and read all the books, that won't happen. So this is just like that. I'm just giving a vague kind of example or analogy. When I said a strand, uh, it is more a metaphoric way of saying it is like… because at that time when I was very ill, ill means to a point where doctors said, I won't make it, that was many years ago. And I came back here in a condition where I couldn't… I was in a very bad condition. I had lost almost a quarter of my muscle structure in the body and I was so weak. But I walked all the way up and then in 20 minutes' time, everything changed for me. So I was trying to explain that change. How it happens means by accessing a certain dimension of knowing. So how is it? Where is it? I said it's like dreadlocks, because Shiva is always seen with dreadlocks. And you have heard of Veerabhadra, how he created Veerabhadra. He plucked a… well, he tore one of his dreadlocks out and smashed it on the stone and Veerabhadra came out of it. And it's Veerabhadra who went and avenged, Sati's death or immolation that happened. So, we are using that as a metaphoric expression. It's not necessarily like Kailash has dreadlocks, no. Please do not
No, no,
think like
I
that.
understand. I
Hmm.
understand.
No,
So,
I'm saying uh, because we are trying to say something which cannot be said. That's the problem. We are trying to see… because if I speak language, the very structure of the language is such, I have to speak logically. If you speak logically, you're putting yourself in a box. In that box, you're trying to go out. How? It won't work like that. So if people are willing to simply sit, we can do things. But they want to know by… because their idea of knowing is by reading, by listening, by books, teaching, school, college, this is how they know. So that to destroy that thinking that that is the only way to know, that itself is a lot of work. Whole life goes just trying to destroy that mode of learning. No matter what you say, they will want to understand. You cannot understand. You cannot even understand how this breath is going and suddenly you're alive, and how if you don't breathe, you'll be dead. You cannot understand this. You can just say, oh, it's because of oxygen and carbon dioxide. No, that's not how it is. It's much, much, much more
Sadhguruji,
than
Sadhguruji, but also one cannot deny the fact that all these things, whether they are mysterious things or intuition or some sort of signals or these kind of spiritual awakenings, they are accessible to only very few people. So how like everybody is not everybody doesn't have access to these things, especially because it seems that these things choose you rather than like people may be visiting Kailash in hordes of buses or trucks and whatever. But I what I'm trying to say is that to some these things are accessible. So is it that Adi Yogi chooses us, or these dimensions choose us, and and what kind of people get chosen for these awakenings?
No, no, he's not choosing, he's keeping everything open for just everybody. Even if an ant comes, he's open. But the ant is not interested in him. That's the whole problem. He is 100% open to every damn thing that comes. Even if a worm crawls up, he's fine with it. But worms are interested in eating and reproducing, they're not interested in knowing.
Sadhguruji, whenever I see, what we see from bhakti is, from our scriptures is a lot of tapasya and a lot of puja and a lot of kind of, devotion. But what I see in you, when you talk about your guru or Adi Yogi, like as if like a unbelievable amount of compassion takes over you and your eyes start to water and you become absolutely compassionate, like every I've never seen anyone being soaked in compassion and gratitude like that. Um, so is this the doorway to this kind of being accessible to these dimensions, compassion? You'd say, and that's why everybody says love is all. But do they mean because love has attachment? Compassion is like, for example, I have to tell you that when I notice you and when I think about you, I feel that you're the most compassionate person I've ever seen. But you're also detached. You're detached. You
No,
you
no,
you don't
let
stick
me
around.
let me redefine this word compassion for you because today compassion means, as the word is being used in the world right now, the word compassion for most people means, I'm asking you, let's say you got a role in a movie. Do you want to get this role on the basis of your competence or because of somebody's compassion?
Competence.
Ah, you want competence, you don't want compassion. So compassion is meaningful for only one who's fallen, isn't it? You got into your pit, now you want compassion. If you stand on your feet, competence is better than compassion, isn't it? So I'm not compassionate in that sense, but let me redefine this word. See, there is passion. Passion means what? Involvement. If two people become passionate, rest of the world disappears. There is a certain beauty to it. But if you become compassionate means it's an all-encompassing compassion, that your passion is now all-inclusive. Passion is exclusive. Passion is always exclusive. Compassion is all-inclusive. So in that sense, compassion is very meaningful. Well, gratitude, I'm of immense gratitude. If I just come here, you know, I'm riding on a motorcycle, people think I'm some kind of a whatever, coming at blasting the engine at its whatever level. But if I come here, simply just the intensity of the place, just tears burst out. Uh, Let me put it this way, instead of saying passion, compassion, love, this, that, I'm at a certain level of intensity of life. Intensity of life is the most important thing. You think love is important because when you felt love, you felt intense. When you felt ecstasy, you felt intense. When you felt deep attachment to somebody, you felt intense. You're looking for intensity through various means, outsourcing. What I'm is, what my life is you can be intense without any reason, without
Yeah,
any purpose,
that's what I
without any
see.
name to it, simply intense.
Yeah.
So, this intensity you want to call it compassion, love, this, that.
Sadhguruji, okay, here's a question that you say that you are intense without any reason, and at the same time, you have so much, um, so much devotion for Shiva. So sometimes I feel, is he the reason? Sorry if I'm taking too long. You guys can tell me uh, when to stop.
No, 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 you can shoot the movie as long as you want, there are editors with scissors.
Okay, fine. So I just well, so regardless, it will get cut. Fine. So I'll take my last question. That even though you say that that you are intense without any reason, then what is what is the purpose of Shiva in your life? I mean, where does he stand?
Well, I sit on his shoulders. He doesn't stand, I don't know where he stands. I sit on his shoulders, so everything is fine. I pretend like I'm doing everything, but it all gets done. So, see, as I said, that which is not. Shiva means that which is not. If you take a dip in that, everything is yours. If you don't take a dip in that, you may think I'm a great man or a great woman or whatever, but you're just a worm on this planet. If we look at you from 1,000 feet above, you look like a worm on this planet. No big deal. Many worms like you and me have come and gone. Where are they? So, only if you take a dip into that dimension which we refer to as Shiva, then you are also that in some way, not different. You are also that, because there is nothing else you can be. This whole idea of your individuality is the most screwed up idea in the human mind. You must bury them and see, they'll become part of the earth. If they sleep, they disappear. Forget about even death. Even if people sleep, they disappear. So this idea, this individuality idea, I am an individual, is the magnanimity of creation, have being hugely misunderstood by people and making a mess out of it. You have to take a dip in this dimension, that which is not, which we call as Shiva. Once you take a dip in it, you are also that in some way. How much of it? Well, it varies from person to person, depends how deeply you're willing to go into something. You willing to just entertain yourself? You willing to give your right arm away for somebody? Or you willing to die for it? That's the difference. I'm willing to die for it, always. People ask me, Sadhguru, you're taking a risk. Yesterday, I spoke to my doctor, be careful, Sadhguru, there should be no fall. If you fall, there is no third surgery for you, only two, it's over. I… I have told him before, if I'm here also, I'm in Shiva's lap. If I cross over also, I'm in his lap. What difference? No difference for me. There's still some work to be done. Well, if he wants me, he will take me. If he doesn't want me, he'll push me back. How many times he pushed me back? I've done a lot to cross the line not once, many times but he's pushed me back in unreasonable ways. So, if there's something worthwhile doing, we do, otherwise what?
We definitely want you to do a lot more, Sadhguruji. My last question, uh, if like a village woman that I am,
अब तो… अब तो दिल्ली में आ गया ना।
But I'm at heart, I'm still a Pahari woman, a village woman. If like a village woman, I'm gonna ask you that आपको वहां पे शिव जी मिले? Did you find Lord Shiva there? Did you do darshan of Lord Shiva? Like what like as a layman person, what would be your answer? Is Lord Shiva there?
When I want to Shiva, I don't go to any place, I just close my eyes. I… He's kept me like that, I don't have to go anywhere to see him.
Thank you so much for the time that you've given me.
So
And
whichever is your village, wherever the hell you are, if you're willing, if you close your eyes, that's where you will be, that which is not. Shiva is all there is. Rest is all made up by you in your mind. One little knock on your head, it'll go away actually. If you take away your memory, all your nonsense is gone, isn't it? So, these are all different ways. After all, we're alive on this planet, so we do many things. But the most important thing is this, that what is ultimate, what is Adi and what is Anadi, both are within us. Will we take a deep dive into it, or shall we live on the surface? This is the only option human beings have. And unfortunately, too many human beings have opted to live on the surface and they think that's normal. No, they're abnormal. Because Normality has become scarce. Abnormality is ruling because it's a democracy, they have the vote. What to do? Only one vote for everybody. So that's how it is. So what is abnormal, what is absolutely insane has become normal. It's absolutely insane. You don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going, how much nonsense you created in your head. And that insanity is normal. If somebody takes a deep dive into themselves and understand the meaninglessness of many things around them, they're abnormal. See, even a simple thing, a beard grows on every man's face, if he's a man. People, why beard? Something abnormal, something religious, something spiritual, god damn it grows on every man. You don't even understand that much. Because everybody else is doing. Suppose all the people in Delhi cut off their nose. If I came there with my nose on, then you think I'm abnormal. What to do? So Kailash is this, to make you realize that most human beings are living life in a topsy-turvy way. It's an opportunity to put them through all this hardship, altitude, everything and try to turn them around to see life in its proper context. That's the effort. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.